Governor Green joins us here in studio. I know it's been a busy time for you, so thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We are 1 week since the fire. What's the latest and what do people need the most right now?
They need, in addition, of course, to our love and compassion, they need housing, which we are doing right now in a rapid process. So you go to the Red Cross, sign up, and we'll get you into a hotel room, long-term, or an Airbnb. They are going to need resources, so go to the Hawaii Community Foundation or the Red Cross and donate money. Right now, I think we have enough for the moment, probably enough food and water, but we'll always ask immediately if we need more of that kind of thing. They need our understanding to not go into ground zero for a couple more days so that the firefighters can do their job. They're 25% done with the assessment of the territory. The death count remained at 99 overnight, and that is both a total heartbreak and also a relief that it didn't surge last night and in the afternoon. They need our space as we begin to tell the victims and their families who has passed. Only 3 of the bodies that we recovered had enough fingerprint to share who they were. So they need our breathing space, and they need just to understand that we will rebuild lovingly all of the lives that we can on Maui. Thank you to everyone across our state for being so generous and so understanding. Even the people who raged against the machine with the police officers or the chief or whatever, I understand the trauma that they're experiencing. I understand the frustration if they think for 1 second they could protect their property more if their house wasn't yet affected. But we will heal, but it's going to take some time. People are going to go through the grieving process now.
I know you mentioned trying to stay out of that ground zero for a few more days, but there is frustration from West Maui residents as they're, trying to get home. That placard system that tried to go into effect, already not happening. So what can West Maui residents do as they're trying to get back home? What do you recommend they do right now?
I recommend they definitely, first of all, they're right, they need to get back. So the faster we get through what's called phase zero is when you have done the first full initial survey of all of the damaged area. As soon as we get through that, we can open up the entire road. So that's one thing. And so we'd like to do that by Saturday or Sunday. That's what the police chief has told me and what the fire folks have told me. What happened was they wanted to put the placard system in place so we could expeditiously get people through, but then hundreds and hundreds of people signed up that really weren't qualified at all. They weren't residents of the area. They just wanted to get in, and that made it logistically an impossibility. So our own human nature and sometimes gets in the way of things. So let us expedite the recovery. They are, though, letting anyone who is a resident of the area go through. They just have to ask at the checkpoint. We trust our local people. Can I be honest with you? Some people ask me questions like in the press conference yesterday. They were like mainland folks, raging, mad, yelling, why can't I get in, and so on. And when I said, you're going to be stepping on the ashes of our loved ones, they scowled at me and swore under their breath. And those people can go shove it. And they need to know that we're here for our people and our deceased. I know that our local people don't have any inclination like that to abuse the rules or to not go in when the time is right. But we're really dealing with a complicated situation because the whole world is watching. So for the whole world that's watching, donate resources, cash donations to Hawaii Community Foundation for the recovery. Put up your home. We set up an Airbnb program. If you have a home, you can go right through our state government and we'll get you the contacts and the links today. Airbnb is going to add, I think it's 1,400 units that are going to be donated, or we're going to cover the cost, one or the other, probably both actually long term. We're going to put everyone into a safe space and we're going to heal and we're going to have health care. But donate and do those things. We'll keep out the noise, but I want people to get in as soon as possible. I was coming right before I came on your program. As you know, I got pulled out because the president called me, right?
Yes, I heard the president.
Yeah, and he said, "What can we do?" And I said, "Mr. President, you've given us within 6 hours. You turned around my request, unlike ever before. Your FEMA team is here in the hundreds. like 400 plus people yesterday. We have 20 dogs now. We're doing everything, but if you can, give us all the resources to reimburse our people. And he said, Josh, you got it. So, I mean, that's the kind of response from the president to a beautiful person in Maui that has lost everything. Everyone, for the most part, is behaving that way, and I'm so appreciative of it.
I know in a lot of natural disasters, even though all that support is coming in, it can take a little bit to see it.
Yes.
So even though the president is saying, yes, you guys got it, about how long can we, maybe expect residents to wait?
I think, and I'm hoping and praying and working all of these things, that by the end of the weekend, the firefighters and the police have said, okay, we've done enough. I did deploy a lot of extra National Guard and active military personnel to the area so that if they have to block a road so that people don't go into ground zero, we can do it. And so these are conversations that are happening in real time. The next meeting on this kind of topic is at 7 this morning. So maybe it could get expedited sooner. We want that road open just as much as residents do, but I don't want to slow down the primary response. Not when hurricane rains could come and wash away, the scene. We might never then be able to find our loved ones. I mean, I have to prioritize that because there will be time, as difficult and frustrating as it may be, there will be, of course, time to get back in. And if anyone loses an extra week of work, I got you. If anyone misses out on school, I've got you. If anyone needs a grant that's in the region, I've got it for you, okay? So understand that we will do any of those things to make up for what we have to do, which is respect those that we've lost.
And as you mentioned, death toll now at 99. We are still expecting that number to go up. Only 25% of the area is searched right now. Do we have any idea how many in that 99 right now are children?
There are children. Because as I've shared, one car, for example, had a family of 4. I'm just going to be direct with people because you need that. We can tell when it's a child because it's a smaller body. We had a family of 7, I believe, in another house. I spent a lot of time with children last evening in West Maui, the ones that had made it out, a bunch of maybe from age 10 to 15-year-olds, plus babies too with their moms, but a bunch of those adolescents running around. It reminds me of my kids are 12 and 16, and they're all like classmates. Some of their schools are gone. We're going to take care of them for sure. It was amazing to see them because on the one hand, they're young and they're totally innocent, and they're just playing and flirting and hugging and kissing, and they're now getting phones back and they're playing games. That's on the one hand. And on the other hand, they just, maybe a guy had his permit and just for the first time ever or second time ever jumped in a car, pulled his sibling in and found the mother and pulled them in and drove with flames around their car. So how do you reconcile that? So it's just incredible what's happening. On the one hand, we will never be able to recover that part of soul that we lose from lost lives. On the other hand, we will recover as a people because I can see how generous and how much aloha there is for Maui. And that means not just from Maui and Oahu and around the islands, but the mainland and others are just completely awesome.
We have heard about some fundraisers that are happening in the continental U.S. as we head into these further weeks. But I have one more question for you, Governor. Former President Donald Trump issued a statement on the Maui fires this morning. He blamed the government for being ill-prepared, and he also blamed you for a poor response, saying, quote, with the governor of the island wanting to do nothing but blame it on global warming and other things that pop into his head, end quote. Do you have a response?
I don't have any time for divisive comments. I'm only here to help people. Honestly, that's all. I'll have more to say later, but I don't have any time for divisive comments from anyone. And I think we should leave it at that. I think we should show respect, love, and dignity for those who are in a disaster and who need us to help. But let me do this. Let me juxtapose things for a half second. The president just called me, President Biden, offering all support, all love, and that's happening. What other people are doing you reflected with your statement that they sent over.
Well, thank you, Governor, for joining us this morning. And of course, we will continue to check in with your team to know the latest.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. And we will have this full interview on our website, kitv.com, in just a little bit. And we will continue to have our coverage of the Maui wildfires on air, online, and social media. So make sure you stick with us.